He thinks that if he gained or lost an unhealthy amount of weight, he'd be called a serious actor. Marvel star Chris Hemsworth said there's a difference in how actors are perceived when they build muscle for a role versus when they gain or lose an unhealthy amount of weight for a job. So presumably he's talking about fat, like shitty weight. Like you'd be seen as, you know, a high caliber actor if you're willing to pack on like 50 pounds of fat, I guess. What's up guys, Derek, more PlaysMore8s.com. Today we are going to be talking about Chris Hemsworth again. This is the star of Thor, who is also going to be playing Hulk Hogan in the near future and seemingly has to bulk up to proportions he has not yet achieved in his entire career. And we've already seen him at a pretty fucking massive body composition in the past. You know, for the first Thor movie in particular, I think he kind of peaked, to be honest. And in terms of overall size, not necessarily conditioning or anything, but anyway, since then he's had to fluctuate up and down pretty significantly for roles and whatnot. And obviously right now, he's in pretty fucking good shape because he's kind of like, you know, peak doing what he needs to do to prepare for these roles, to say the least. When I say do what he needs to do, I'm sure you can gather what I mean. So, like, one of the most recent picks that picked up a lot of steam, obviously, he's in really fucking good shape, even as far back as he was preparing in 2020 still too. And then there was that one photo that went viral back in November where he was pushing the giant tire looking like a sauce fiend and a half. Cheat day today, decided to treat myself to this extra large donut. Gosh, it's heavy. So this was, you know, it doesn't seem like he's really gained since this shot. Granted, it was, you know, in ideal circumstances, he's literally pushing a heavy tire and everything is under tension and flexed. But moving forward, it doesn't seem like he's packed on, you know, what we would presume to be Hulk Hogan level mass yet. I don't know. So I don't know how much bigger he's going to get, but in the recent videos, he still looks great, but it's not that much different than we've seen from past roles. But anyways, obviously he's taking the bodybuilding aspect pretty seriously. You know, he's packed on a shit ton of size, or at least, you know, muscle memoried his way back to a decent amount of his original Thor size in the past year. And this article came out called Chris Hemsworth says he's not considered a serious actor because he's never gained or lost an unhealthy amount of weight for a role. Which is really odd to hear, considering the guy has literally sauced his face off for Thor. And, well, I guess it depends what kind of weight you're talking about, because you could say unhealthy weight is fat as opposed to muscle, even though you could argue that gear plus muscle like is very fucking unhealthy too. But anyways, and on the opposite side of the spectrum, he's literally emaciated himself for that Heart of the Sea or whatever it was fucking called. We'll get into the pictures after of that one, but in this, it says Thor star Chris Hemsworth spoke about his fitness routine in a new interview with The Telegraph. The actor who trains intensely for his Marvel role said that bodybuilding is seen as vanity. He thinks that if he gained or lost an unhealthy amount of weight, he'd be called a serious actor. Marvel star Chris Hemsworth said there's a difference in how actors are perceived when they build muscle for a role versus when they gain or lose an unhealthy amount of weight for a job. So presumably he's talking about fat, like shitty weight. Like you'd be seen as, you know, a high caliber actor if you're willing to pack on like 50 pounds of fat, I guess. There's an aesthetic that the role requires, Hemsworth told The Telegraph about his physical appearance being the focus of discussions around his portrayal of the God of Thunder known as Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Bodybuilding is seen as vanity, whereas if I put on a bunch of unhealthy weight or get unhealthily skinny for a role, I'd probably be called a serious actor. The 37-year-old star continued. Hemsworth played the iconic comic book character since 2011's Thor, appearing in 2 standalone sequels and a handful of Avengers films. Most recently, he appeared in Endgame, set to reprise the role for Thor, Love and Thunder, which is set to release on May 6, 2022. Training for the role for over a decade is a full-time job. That and then a 12-hour shooting day. It's a real grind, he said. It's incredibly rewarding too. You have to look at it like a professional athlete. Also said that he's learned a lot about fitness throughout his journey in the MCU. And he's currently probably the fittest and strongest I've been before all of the Thors. I don't know about that, but okay. Like I guess, you know, who am I to fucking say? But some of the, in the first one, I swear, like it seemed like he had like peak mass in that one, despite him only prepping for like 6 fucking months. He gained the, what was it? The 20 to 25 pounds of muscle that they said in the Duffy interview or whatever the guy's name is.
So for Thor, the goal was size, bigger. Chris put on 20, 25 pounds of muscle in about 6 months.
But I have to get bigger, and so I became about eating a lot and training a lot, and they kept saying, yeah, just get as big as you can, big as you can.
Yeah, so 20 to 25 pounds in 6 months, and he ended up going from, at the start of his, a little earlier in his career, 2004, 2007, he was in Home and Away, and he looked like this, you know, nothing crazy special, just a lean, athletic-looking guy. And then moving forward to 2009, or it was filmed in 2008, Perfect Getaway, he packed on a bit of size for that role, but still nothing like Thor. Cabin in the Woods, 2010, it was filming. Almost exactly 6 months before filming for Thor began in 2010. Oh, I guess it was filmed in 2009. My mistake, March 9th, 2009, May 29th, 2009. And, you know, again, lean, athletic, but not bulky like Thor. And then this is when he gained 20 to 25 pounds of muscle in 6 months. And he went from Cabin in the Woods to fucking House in Thor. And he packed on just pure lean mass, essentially. And it does look like 20 to 25 pounds. Realistically, I believe it. But obviously, we know what goes into that. And it's kind of interesting how, like, he's saying he looks bigger and better body composition, leaner and bigger essentially than this here, which I'm not so sure about. Like, he looked pretty prime in the first one, and I haven't really seen him exceed at least the size since then. You know, I could be wrong, but I mean, you know, maybe he'll do it this time. If there was ever a time to do it, it would be now when he's playing Hulk Hogan, obviously. Like some of the, you know, future roles, he fluctuated up and down quite a bit. He's lost muscle a shit ton of times, you know, when you no longer have the need to stay on, you know, that routine. And the super physiological hormone assistance, you know, you go back down to your athletic self in shit like Black Hat and his other roles. And this is the one in particular where he went from, you know, Thor body composition or slightly smaller than that to emaciating himself for Heart of the Sea. So I don't know what he's referring to. Like, if I did this, like, has he not already done this? So I don't know, like, what more can you fucking ask, you know? Like, he hasn't got morbidly obese for a role, so he hasn't, like, checked off all the fucking boxes yet. And then again, you know, he blows back up from fucking stick figure status to being cranked again in Age of Ultron in this deleted scene, looking fucking insane, dude. So anyways, we've seen him fluctuate up and down a shit ton. You know, 2016, he loses all the muscle again, then he gains it all fucking back. Obviously, he doesn't lose it all, but, you know, like, he's in shape still, but he doesn't look cranked out of his fucking mind anymore. And so it's kind of interesting how he's talking about the bodybuilding that goes into this, but not really discussing the Heart of the Sea emaciation he endured, because obviously that would be something that would get the praise that he seems like he is discussing. Let's see. For years, I probably overtrained, he said. People who do muscle building often don't realize it's a sport that shouldn't be done 7 days a week. 2 hours a day, I was doing that in the previous Thors and was coming up sore with less energy. Said that for the role of Thor, he tailors his workouts based on what's visible when he wears his costumes, but you want it to be balanced because there's probably a shirt off scene somewhere. He added, you don't want to look like Popeye with one section of the body blown up. Yeah, so obviously I would think you would train your body parts pretty proportionally. It's not that hard to hit them, you know, at least once a week, I would think. Granted, I'm not a fucking, you know, a movie star. So, you know, maybe his trainer has different ideas for what's good. But we know for sure he's probably not doing the center fit, you know, fucking body weight shit that they promote with the kettlebells and stuff. He's probably doing, you know, compound movements and the bread and butter movements that you would expect that you're going to need access to a full gym to fucking do. So anyways, in BuzzFeed, he kind of talks about it a little bit further, or it just has more quotes from him. This is him pretty currently, actually. People take him less seriously when he's bodybuilding, seen as a vanity thing. If he got unhealthily skinny for a role, he'd be called a serious actor. So yeah, again, like, I don't fucking get it, dude. It's not like you have not done that. So the only thing he has left to do is become morbidly obese. It's also worth mentioning that feeling good and being healthy as a concept is different for pretty much everybody and everybody. We can't all be Thor, and that's what makes us special. All right, so anyways, the, you know, like, I guess it can be, like, to the average person, I'm not really sure that they see, you know, like, Christian Bale get, you know, emaciated for The Machinist and then blow up for Batman and necessarily think it's that much different than Chris Hemsworth emaciating himself for Heart of the Sea and then blowing back up for Thor. Like, if anything, you could say, I guess Bale got a bit, you know, went a bit further with the emaciation than Hemsworth did, but like, does that define his success as an actor? Like, no, I think he's just a good fucking actor. Not that Hemsworth, honestly, who am I to gauge fucking acting metrics? Like, it's not like I'm a fucking judge of it, but I mean, for like, I don't know how true that would be to maybe to the critics who actually, you know, give out these awards and shit, but to the average person watching these movies, I don't necessarily think that's indicative of, I don't think that's true necessarily, you know? I would not see somebody getting fat as fuck as, like, oh, this guy was definitely a, you know, sick actor in that movie just because his body fat percentage was like 27%, you know what I mean? And he's already done it, dude. He's already emaciated himself before, so I'm not sure where the statements come from, but it's kind of interesting to compare that the healthy weight is actually like arguably potentially even more unhealthy because it's driven through fucking steroid-induced muscle gain. So I don't know, like, what is the, like, you could almost argue, despite the fact that you are not telling people you're natural, which is like a not respectable thing, obviously, that it's almost more of a, I don't know, notch on your belt as far as acting chops go. If we're going to compare body transformation intensity of what you're doing, you could argue the packing on 20 to 25 pounds of muscle, it's way fucking harder than packing on, you know, 40 to 50 pounds of like shit weight. You just sit around and eat like trash and don't exercise versus pack on a shit ton of muscle and take a bunch of drugs. Like, which one's a more serious actor? I would say it's the drug one. Packing on the muscles fucking hard, dude. And especially, you know, getting shredded too, not just emaciating yourself and abusing the shit out of fucking stimulants and nicotine and shit like that to not want to eat any food and stick to a sub 1,000 calorie diet model for weeks on end. The most impressive thing to, I think, the average person, I would think, would be the muscle growth thing. You know, you totally transform your body from average-ish or like, you know, good athletic looking guy to just superhero in a matter of 6 months. How is that less impressive than a guy eating fucking Mars bars and not going to the gym? Like, I guess maybe the fucking Golden Globes people think the starving yourself and eating pizza all day is somehow serious compared to the bodybuilding thing. So that's kind of interesting how it's being perceived, but maybe I'm just missing the point because it seems like he's already done that. But interesting to see if he gets bigger, dude, because it does not seem like, I don't really see the improvements upon the past Thor roles, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. He still looks fucking jacked, obviously. Like, this is the peak shot, but this is like middle of an exercise. When you actually just look at him on his Instagram, you know, it doesn't look that much better to me than he has been in the past. Like, if anything, I would say he's at best comparable to his first appearance. So I don't know, man. Like, I think he has a bit of a ways to go to, you know, match up to Hogan, but he's definitely on his way. He's fucking lean still too. So he's definitely in a good place as far as insulin sensitivity goes. Probably he's probably in a good place to grow more if he wants to push the envelope. But I imagine this is going to entail more drug exposure than he probably initially anticipated, you know, unfortunately. So, but anyways, he's well on his way. He probably needs another, like, I don't know. Do people even give a fuck if you don't represent the role that well nowadays? You have people like, what's his fucking name? The Twilight guy playing Batman, or, you know, Ben Affleck playing Batman. You know, some people like really like Ben Affleck as Batman, but it's like, you know, when you look at the body composition of some of the guys playing the superhero roles, like, one of the only guys who's actually like getting at least fucking close is Hemsworth realistically. So you can at least give him that, and it should be interesting to see if he, you know, kind of closes it out and gains another, really pushes the fucking drug envelope and gains another 5 to 10 pounds of lean mass in the next however long. Because I think that's what it would take to probably like really achieve the serious representation of Hogan and or your best Thor appearance to date. Like, this was pretty fucking impressive to me, especially in that 6-month span. I don't really see you exceeding that without really pushing the drug envelope, unfortunately. And if you did that, you would think that would be like commendable as an actor, that you're willing to expose yourself to fucking dangerous hormones in order to represent your role as good as possible. But no, apparently not, which seems fucking silly. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you looking forward to either movie? And what do you think of his current physique? Do you think it is currently better or worse than his previous Thor appearances? Like, right now, to me, well, you've already heard my fucking opinion, so I'll let you guys drop it down in the comments down below. And yeah, like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplates.com, follow me on Instagram, at moreplates.dates, Facebook, Snapchat, BitChute, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description. I'm like watching this shit while I'm doing my outro. Yeah, anything I'm associated with, it's in the video description below if you want to support the channel. So check it out. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.